Hey, what's happening? Yeah, buddy. Yes, you saw the topic. Young men, 18 through, just say, I don't want to say 18 through 25. 18 to 25, maybe. Young men between those age ranges, how do you come up? What is the key of leveling up in the world to be where you want to be? Or at least not be where you want to be, but be at a certain level so you're like, man, I really did good for myself. So, guys, you got to realize that the way the world operates, majority of the time, you're going to have to put in hard work. This is one of my neighbors. You got to put in, like, some hard work, long hour days. 5, maybe even 6 hours a day. 6 days of, 12 hours a day, hard labor. That's just the way things are. You got to get out there. You got to keep it pushing. You got to keep going. Even though you're tired, you got to think to yourself, it's going to be worth it in the long run. And, we fall in love with doing things easy. Not wanting to get our hands dirty, not wanting to sweat, And that's how this country was built. Off of time, sweat, blood. This took a lot of hard work. True, we got technological innovations, but regardless, we're hardwired to go out there and put in the hard effort. You ever notice, when you get something when it's just given to you, it's not really like, I got it. It doesn't really mean that much. But when you actually put in the work, long hours, years worth of work, and you look, you're like, man, that makes you appreciate it even more. So that's why I want young guys to know, like, when things are just handed to you, it's just like, oh, well, it'll come easy. That's how life should be. And it's like, think about it like this here. Let's say for you guys that like to work out. Losing weight or getting in shape or getting your body into a certain figure, you know that whatever you put out, that's how much you're going to get back. So you can do 100 sit-ups a day, True, you get some results, but if you do 1,000 sit-ups per day, that's 10 times the work, so you get 10 times the results. And then you have to eat right, make sure you drink the right, plenty of liquids, a lot of water. You gotta put in the effort to get the results that you want. So, don't get me wrong. If there is an easier way, there's nothing wrong with taking that route, but don't fall in love with doing it the easy way. Because there are gonna come some times where, things are gonna be available, so you gotta, hustle through it. You gotta work through it. You gotta grind through it. You gotta keep pushing as much as you can. I remember even when I was 18, oh man, wide open, I'm like, okay, I gotta get this. I want to put something out in the life, I want to show my worth through my work. And as far as just, having that drive and that determination, and I see a lot of young guys now, it's like they're kind of zombified. It's like the life has been sucked out of them. But to all the young men, I just want y'all to know all this, it'll come if you keep putting in the work, but you got to be serious about it in your own way. Be true to yourself in your own essence and trust the process. That's the main thing, trust in the process. Yes, you will have bad days, but you will have good days as well. But use the bad days as an experience, like, for next time, like, okay, this happened, but now I know how to navigate through it. And then through the good days, you learn the proficiency and the efficiency of how things are normally going through timing and effort. You can learn how a job is done, precisely while you're working. Learn how it's done precisely when you're using the correct tools or when you're using physical labor and knowledge. And I would say, because I hear guys all the time, I used to hear all the older guys, at work, that's when I get my workout. I'm lifting all this stuff. And which is true. People, especially guys, the older generation, they see that work as a workout. I want to work out when I'm working, but I'm not going to lie. Majority of the young guys, it's like, oh man, Why I gotta sweat? Why I gotta use my muscles? Maybe I feel like chilling. Maybe I don't feel like doing all this. And it's like, yeah, but I mean, dude, like, I mean, we wonder why, you know, our bodies are failing, and then we get sick so easily, all these health conditions. And this is like 18, 19, 20s, and 30s. Can you imagine when you get older? I mean, your body's gonna, be obsolete, you know? And that's why I really want to stress, like, that's not a good thing for the long run. That's why we always talk about, our older generation, all the ancestors, the guys was real physical, and then the females were really toned. I said, yeah, because there was a lot of head work, a lot of physical labor. Like, we didn't have all this stuff. Yeah, we had, like, innovations, but you still had to do some work to it. It's just to help out. It's not meant to take over the work. It's meant to help out. But now we've gotten to a point where it's like, well, you know, now can just get the technology and make it easy. Which there's nothing wrong. If you want to do it, hey, go ahead. But you gotta look at the cost benefit when it comes to anything. Because I mean, anything you do comes at a cost. I mean, you know, you can't have it all, you know, in life. There are some trade-offs that you have to take, and, you know, just keep your head straight, you know, keep the hard work going. Especially all the guys, I remember how it was when I was 18, 19, 20, around that age, you know. But, man, I mean, you know, and especially when it comes to talking with women, I want to touch on that too before I cut the video. Guys, dealing with women a week, you should maybe at least be doing 10 hours a week when it comes to dealing with women. Because I'm not going to lie, I hate to say it. I didn't understand it too when I was younger. I remember a lot of older guys just tell me, but when you're like focused and determination, I mean, you know, on your path, I mean, I hate to say it, but majority of women you deal with are going to be in the way. I just hate to say it. I mean, you know, but it's like, with them, it's like, they're like a byproduct of your success. I hate to say it like that, but it's true. They are really a byproduct of your success. Because a woman is always looking for a man who's trying to at least level up if he's not already there. They're at least to some degree looking for a guy who's trying to level up. I mean, I hate to say it, that's just the way it is. You know, but I mean, you ask a woman, the average woman, oh yeah, he can make $45,000, $50,000, but if he has ambition to make more. So I'm not saying you have to be like $100,000 a year, 200, 300, 400, 500. It's just that at least, you know, you can have some side hustles on the side, like, hey, like, you know, you're off work, but you know somebody that might need help. I don't know. You probably have neighbors that, you know, need help gardening, washing dishes, especially older people, washing dishes, you know, just anything. Just say, hey, just ask them, hey, look, can I, you know, I'm just trying to get some extra income, a little bit extra income, some side money. Is there anything that I can help you out with around the house, or, you know, just to put a little extra? And then you'd be surprised. It'd be like, okay, he's trying to do something. People admire the effort. That's what I want to go back to. People admire when somebody's trying to do something. Like, they don't want, you know, a cradler. They don't want somebody who's going to want to be handling the cradle all day. People want to see you putting in the effort and the work, and like, they'll admire it. And then even though, like, let's say, like, you ask them that, they're like, no, but I know somebody that might want to help. And then, like, you remain in their thought. You'd be surprised. You remain in their thought, in their head for a good while. You know, and I remember even when I was cutting yards one time, and it was like, oh man, you know how to cut a yard, you know. It was just an effort. Yes, I was tired. It was even early in the morning. I was tired. I was around in high school though that time. But, you know, I was tired, you know, hot sun, summertime, school's out, you know. School's out, and there's like, oh man, you know how to cut grass, man. I mean, you a young man out here. I said, well, yeah, you know, I'm just trying to get a, you know, extra, you know, side hustle. Oh, do you know how to weed eat? Not really. But that's something I wouldn't mind learning, though, you know, at the time. And I was like, man, you know, I could just be getting some side hustles. We made all this, you know, I was making this money, you know, during the summertime. You know, in high school, and that gave me that somewhat of a merchant mindset, like, you know, like, man, I should be able to provide for myself and get it in, and and make sure that, you know, I can sustain myself. And that's the last thing I want to touch before I go. I know a lot of young guys always hear people say, oh, I make 100,000, 150, 200, 250. Yes, but they get that working at a job. Now ask them, if that job was to let them go, could they keep that income coming in? That's what I want young guys to focus on. Even if you get fired, okay. It might not be at that same level, but I can get myself around that same lifestyle on my own. That's what I'm going to teach guys to: self-dependency, learning how to provide for yourself. When you're out there in the wilderness, could you eat what you could kill? That means not only can somebody teach you how to hunt, but you got to be able to be self-sufficient in hunting yourself. So that's just a little bit of knowledge of y'all young guys. I want y'all to know, you know, just trying to be self-sufficient and consistent, you know, in your path. You know, just keeping that motivation going. But don't forget, like the video, subscribe, and I will holler at y'all later. Peace.